more than 50% of students with ADHD drop out of college before earning a degree. That's more than half. And guess what? It's not because they're not smart. It's not because they're not intelligent. It's because college is not necessarily designed for ADHD brains. So if you've spent years keeping your teen on track, reminding them about assignments, emailing teachers, checking the school portal, what happens when you're not there anymore? When there's no reminders, no IEP meetings, no second chances on missed assignments, if your teen isn't prepared, college could hit them like a freight train. But here's the good news. With the right preparation, your ADHD teen has a better chance at thriving in college. So today we're going to talk about ways in which to prepare our ADHD teens to thrive in college. And I'm also going to talk to you about a workshop that I'm offering soon in order to help with this exact thing. So stick with me. I'm about to break down why ADHD students often fail in college and how to help them before they get there. So first, let's talk about the 3 pitfalls that most students fall into when they get to college. Number 1, no one is checking in anymore. In high school, teachers remind students about homework, parents get grade alerts, and if a student forgets something, someone steps in. In college, not so much. No one follows up, no one chases them down. Professors don't necessarily care if they turn in assignments or even notice, because let's be real, some college professors may take the entire semester to grade assignments. So they may not even realize that your student hasn't turned in assignments until the semester is almost over. For ADHD students who struggle with time management, this is a disaster waiting to happen. The second reason is they have just too much unstructured time. So most ADHD students have never been taught how to manage their time. Now, I hear you going, oh no, I've taught my kid how to manage their time. Yes, you've taught them because they have routines and they have structured schedules. But had they been taught how to self manage large quantities of unstructured time? Most likely not. Most likely, when they get to college, they will have never had so much unstructured time as they have on their hands as then. In high school, when their schedule was set for them, there were cues built into the day of when they had to study, when things were due, when things had to be done. But when they get to college, it'll be very easy for them to think, oh, I'll do that later. And later just may never arrive. And number 3, they aren't exactly sure how to access their accommodations, what to even ask for, or what accommodations they can or will need. In college, accommodations are not automatic. They do not carry over from year to year. They may not even carry over from class to class, and each one may have to be addressed separately in a different way with a different process and a different structure. If your child struggles with executive functioning skills, this could be a major barrier to their success. So, welcome to our channel. I'm Amy. I'm a college ADHD coach. I've raised 3 kids who have gone to college within the last 5 years. I'm a behavior analyst and I'm obsessed with helping college students with ADHD succeed in college. So, how do we help them succeed? First of all, we have to teach them how to self advocate, and we have to practice that now while they're in high school. We have to have them email teachers themselves. We have to have them learn how to talk to teachers themselves. We have to have them acknowledge when they need help and ask for help. Those are all skills that we have to try to teach in high school. Number 2, we have to try to build their independence before move-in day. Can your teen wake up on their own? Can they manage their own medications, even if you don't tell them to, even if you don't set them on the counter for them, even if they're put away in a cabinet where they can't see them every morning? Can they manage those things? Can they schedule their own appointments? And can they seek out appointments when they need them spontaneously? So, for example, if they wake up not feeling well, do they know the difference between when they need to go to a doctor and when they don't? What to take for a cold versus a sinus infection? All of these intricacies are day-to-day things that we don't think about as parents because we just manage them naturally. We manage them with the environment that we've set up for our kids and our family, and it just works well for them. But in college, they don't have all these antecedent reminders, and so they can just kind of flail and be completely lost in this environment. So all of these things are probably things that you had thought about, but I imagine there are a couple of things that you haven't thought about in preparing your teen to go to college. Did you know that the 504 or the IEP doesn't follow them to college? In college, accommodations are not guaranteed. Also, they have to meet a different burden than they did in high school. The IDEA law, the 504 law, and the IEP laws do not apply on the college campus. And the basic mechanisms for what determines whether or not a student needs success are completely different on the college level than they are on the high school level. So you may have heard this, but what I doubt you have heard is how you should take a look at your individual high school students' academic performance, their behaviors, the way that they perform, the executive functioning skill deficits that they specifically have, and you should plot out what accommodations they receive in high school, what accommodations are on their 504 but they don't utilize, what accommodations are utilized in certain classes. For example, do they need different things in an English class than they need in a math class? Do they need different things in a science class than they need in a lecture class? And did they take all of the college prerequisites to get admitted to certain major programs within a college? So, a lot of students may have an accommodation in high school that allows them to take a lower math class, substitute a lower science class, use calculators in a math class where the rest of the class doesn't get to use calculators. And so some of these accommodations are not replicatable in the college setting. And what that could do is it could matter as far as what majors your student will actually have access to being successful at. For example, if you have a student who absolutely needs a calculator at all times and can only take lower level math, engineering may not be a major for them. This also could vary campus to campus to campus and major to major to major. So it's not all clear cut at all. There are no hard and fast rules, except for the fact that the college campuses are held to the law in order to provide access to the educational program. But access looks very different than what high school accommodations look like. So, what I'm telling you is that to figure out a launch plan for your high school student, it's not cut and dry. And what you really need to do is sit down with an expert in behavior and think through all of these things that pertain to your high school student and how we can set them best up for success in college. And to do that, I would suggest you take our 3-day workshop that's coming up in March. It's online, it's an hour each day at lunchtime. And what we will do is we will actually walk through the steps of assessing your individual student and what works for them, what doesn't work for them, what they need, what they want, and all of these things to come up with your own individual launch plan for your high school student. This will guide you in asking specific questions on the college campus, considering different majors. It'll guide you on thinking through various campuses that may work better for your student than other campuses. For example, would your student thrive better in a smaller school versus a bigger school? Or a school that doesn't necessarily do grades versus a school that is all project based? Or what about quarters and semesters? Would your student be better utilizing a quarter system or a semester system? All of these things are accommodations that already exist within the environment. Let me rephrase that. Not really accommodations. All of these things are differences within college systems, and it only makes sense when you're investing so much money in a college education to try to make the choices that would set your child up for their best chance of success. And it all is going to depend on your child's needs, your child's wants, and their specific goals. And it is worth taking the time and the planning to think through these things and to create a specific plan for your high schooler that's about to transition to college. College doesn't have to be a disaster. The statistics can be better. Your ADHD child can succeed in college. Absolutely 100%, I believe that. They just need the right plan in place and the right supports when they get there. And those supports don't necessarily have to all be guaranteed through the college. There are ways to access supports and accommodations for yourself without ever even visiting the Office of Students for Disabilities. Now, I want to be clear, I'm not discouraging any student from visiting the Office of Disabilities. In fact, I think that should be their first visit. But what I am saying is that to there are multiple ways to engineer success, and it just makes sense to set up that path of success as well as we possibly can. So I would love it if you would join us for our workshop. It's called From Home to Campus. From Home to Campus, a parent's roadmap for ADHD success. And it's in March. It's for 3 days. And if you can't join us live, the replays will be available. And it's only $47. So I hope you'll join us. And I'm going to put a link in the comments. So thank you. Like, subscribe, and join us for our other videos.